Our eyes. The eye is one of the most delicate and complicated parts of the body. It works in very much the same way as a camera does. Each has a lens to focus the light rays. Each has a surface which reacts to light, the film in the camera, and the retina in the back of the eye. The iris in the eye opens and closes like the diaphragm of the camera to let in more or less light. The only real difference is in how the lenses are adjusted. In the camera, the lens is moved forward or backward. In the eye, the lens does not move. It becomes thinner or thicker. The eyeball is round and rests in the bony eye socket. The center of the eyeball is filled with a transparent jelly called the vitreous humor. This is surrounded by a strong wall made of several layers. The outer layer of the eyeball is a tough white fiber which protects the inner eye and keeps it steady. The front part of the sclera is transparent and is called the cornea. The cornea is very strong. It bulges out beyond the curve of the eyeball, and the bulge is filled with a watery jelly, the aqueous humor. The middle layer covering the eyeball is the choroid, a soft layer full of blood vessels. At the front of the eyeball, the choroid merges into the ciliary muscles. If you look at someone else's eye, you will see under the transparent cornea a colored ring with a black hole in the middle of it. The colored part is the iris, and it is a continuation of the choroid layer. It is made up of muscle fibers. Some of them are arranged in circles, one side the other. Some are like the spokes of a wheel. The black hole is the pupil. It seems black because through it you are seeing the dark inside of the eyeball. The iris can make the pupil large or small. In a dim light, the wheel spoke muscles tighten and pull the ring so that it opens wider. In a bright light, the circular muscles tighten and the circle becomes smaller, just as a camera lens opening is adjusted to cut out some of the light on a brilliantly sunny day. To the back and front of the iris are layers of cells which contain a certain amount of coloring matter. The color of your eyes depends on how dense the coloring matter is. Blue-eyed people have less coloring matter than brown-eyed people. Behind the iris and the pupil, there is a beautiful disc called the crystalline lens. Like a magnifying glass, it curves outward on both sides and is perfectly transparent. But unlike any lens that man has made, it is elastic. It helps to bend rays of light entering the eye so that they focus on the back of the eye. The crystalline lens is attached at its edges to the ciliary muscles. These muscles allow the lens to relax and become thicker for seeing objects nearby. Or the lens may be stretched and flattened to see things at a distance. The retina, the innermost layer of the eyeball, is the most important layer. It is not only a part of the eye but a part of the brain. It is mostly made up of delicate nerve fibers. These fibers are part of the optic nerve which connects the retina with the brain. The retina contains millions of vision cells. The vision cells are of two kinds, called either rods or cones according to their shape. Together, they form a kind of wall which receives light rays. There are two spots at the back of the eye which are different from the rest of the retina. One is the place where the optic nerve enters the back of the eyeball from the brain and spreads out to become the retina. At that place, there are no rods or cones. When light falls on it, the light is not received. So it is called the blind spot. Close beside this place is the yellow spot. The yellow spot contains only cones and it is the part of the retina where vision is most accurate. The function of the cones is to see fine details and color. The rods are important for seeing in dim light. Night animals such as bats have retina made almost entirely of rods, so they can see only black and white. The eyeball moves in the socket by means of six muscles. They are attached to the sides of the eyeball at one end and to the back of the eye socket at the other. With the help of these muscles, the eyeball can turn. The eyelids prevent dust and dirt, too much wind, and too much light from hurting the eyes. The eyelashes also protect the eyes from dust and dirt. The eyelids close automatically about every 6 seconds, so quickly that you hardly notice the blink. The eyelids are lined by the conjunctiva. This is a transparent membrane that lines the upper eyelid, folds and covers the eyeball, then folds again and covers the inside of the lower lid. The eyes are also protected by the eyebrows. They stop sweat from trickling down into the eyes. The entire eye socket is a bony barrier against blows from large objects. At the upper and outer edge of each eye, there is a tear gland. These glands contain a watery fluid. When the eye blinks, the glands are squeezed and the fluid is spread over the eyeball to prevent it from becoming dry. If a speck of dust gets into the eye, the lids automatically blink faster and harder. The fluid flows faster and the dirt is washed towards the inner corner of the eye where it is non irritating and can be taken out. The fluid, after it crosses the eyeball, runs through little channels into the nose. If you cry, there is too much fluid for the channels and the tears run out of your eyes and down your cheeks. Suppose you are standing outdoors looking at a tree. The light rays reflected from the tree pass through your cornea at the front of the eyeball, then through the lens to the retina. On the retina, the image is received upside down by the rods and cones. It is then carried to the brain by the optic nerve, and in the brain it is turned right side up again. If the day is very sunny, the muscles of the iris will close the ring to keep too much light from entering the eye. If the day is dark, the iris will open wide to let in as much light as possible. If the tree is close to you, the lens will relax and thicken to focus the image of the tree on the retina. If the tree is far away, the lens will flatten. Thanks for your attention.